Yeah, but I think teachers are coming down the center too. Yes, they are. Good job. Yeah, I don't know. This is perfect. It gets to the point right here. More, is that good? Well, they all stopped. All the students.
Good evening, and welcome to Passaic Valley High School's Class of 2022 Commencement Ceremony. Will everyone please rise for the sounding of Nubia's bell? This signifies the start of our ceremony, while also honoring our New Jersey Governor, Teacher of the Year, and Educational Specialist of the Year. Our recipients of these prestigious awards are Mr. Michael DeLucia and Ms. Erin Wilkes. Following Nubia's bell, we will observe a moment of silence for Mrs. Nancy Helberg and Mr. John Howard. Both were dedicated and passionate educators here at Passaic Valley High School that sadly passed away this school year. Thank you. And now to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, here are the Class of 2022 Treasurer, Secretary, and Historian, Emma Sieber, Maram Adham, and Gabriela Gutierrez.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem and alma mater, performed by the senior members of our choir, along with Ms. Dia Ceres and Ms. Jennifer Shue. Please be seated. Thank you to everyone for joining us in celebrating the Passaic Valley Regional High School graduating class of 2022. the first ever to graduate on this state-of-the-art turf field. We are gathered here tonight with some prominent dignitaries that we would like to recognize as great supporters of Passaic Valley High School and this community. We thank them for their unwavering support throughout this school year and every school year. Our members of the Passaic Valley High School Board of Education, from Woodland Park, we have Ms. Lori Brigatti, Mrs. Jacqueline Luker, and Mr. Sam Yodex. From Little Falls, we have Dr. Charles Cathcart, Mr. Luke Damiano, and Mr. Nicholas Dole. And from Totowa, we have Mr. John D'Ambrosio, Vice President Mr. Peter D'Angelo, and President Dr. Vince Varkatapane. We have our tri-borough mayors here tonight. Mayor Casmark from Woodland Park, Mayor Damiano from Little Falls, and Mayor Coro from Totowa. We also have our K-8 superintendents from our sending districts from all three towns. Dr. Michelle Polari from Woodland Park, Mrs. Tracy Marinelli from Little Falls, and Mrs. Trish Capitelli from Totowa. With us tonight, we also have Senator Kristen Corrado and our former superintendent of Passaic Valley, Dr. Victor Gigano. All of us at Passaic Valley High School would also like to thank the parents of these fine students for trusting us with your children. We appreciate your support over the last 4 years. Now please welcome the Vice President of the Class of 2022, Julia Hosiery.
Good evening, Board of Education, staff, administrators, teachers, families, and fellow students. To say that I am thrilled and honored to be here today would be an understatement, though I have to admit, when I learned that I would be giving the commencement speech at graduation, the reality of it all finally set in. The reality of seeing childhood friends handed their diplomas, the thought of possibly tripping while going on stage or leaving the stage, or even worse, accidentally addressing Dr. Healy as Mr. Healy. So many endless possibilities to consider, but knowing I have the loving Passaic Valley community to catch me when I fall and laugh with me or at me gives me comfort either way. It's common for speeches to start off with a deeply philosophical quote. However, the one that I chose for this occasion is simple with a powerful message. Henry Ward Beecher once said, "Hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anybody else expects of you. Never excuse yourself. Never pity yourself. Be a hard master to yourself and be lenient to everybody else." In order to hold ourselves to a higher standard in school and in life, we need to view change as an opportunity rather than something to fear. I recently received a letter in the mail written from my freshman self. In the letter, I speak of my future aspirations, and after reading it and thinking back to it, to what I once desired, I knew what I would discuss in the speech. Even though I'm not going to the military like I wanted to, shout out to Vinnie Cap. Or attending the prestigious Harvard University. Shout out to Christopher Perez, aka Mr. Harvard. I found through my personal experiences that these ever-changing aspirations should be embraced and viewed as a chance for new opportunities. Along the way, our aspirations will undoubtedly change. We might veer off the path. That is all okay, as long as we get back on track, even if its direction has changed for us. It's not about dwelling on past mistakes or regretting our past decisions. It's about recognizing our individual potential and tapping into it to realize that we can be the best versions of ourselves, only if we allow it. If we can do this, then we will be setting ourselves up for success for the next milestone of our lives, wherever that may take us. The road leading us to this freshly laid turf field was rough and ridden with obstacles. I, for one, know that. But yet, here we are today, ready to take on new obstacles and adventures. We've done it before. We can do it again. I truly hope that your chosen path in life makes you happy, that you continue, if not start, to seek greatness while being kind to those around you who support your endeavors. Good luck and congratulations to the Passaic Valley class of 2022 on your many accomplishments. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming to the stage our salutatorian on her way to the Ivy League and Cornell University, Leah Truella.
Good evening, students, Dr. Healy, PV administration, school board members, as well as family and friends. My name is Leah Truella, and I am honored to have the opportunity to speak in front of you today as the class of 2022 Salutatorian. A question we have often been asked over the years, this year especially, is what we want to be when we grow up. Our answers have transformed from an astronaut in kindergarten to some more practical options today, but hopefully our spirit for discovery has never ceased. Our high school graduation is simply a step on the path that we will create for ourselves. While I hope you share my excitement for the future, it is important to not only consider who we want to be, but to look back on who we have become. While we will always value the knowledge we learned and the friends we made over the past 4 years, we should also reflect on the lessons that PV has taught us and the impact that this has had in shaping who we are today. For example, I learned to always keep a positive attitude from Mrs. Vigilante's many pep talks and the value of time management from late nights spent writing essays. The lessons that we learned over the past 4 years will help us to craft the futures that we imagined for ourselves to become who we have dreamed of being when we grow up. So when I grow up, I want to look back at my years at PV with the pride of knowing that my time here has shaped who I am and created a foundation for future success. I hope you'll join me.
It is my honor and privilege to welcome to the stage our Superintendent of Passaic Valley Regional High School, Dr. Bracken Healy.
Julia, Mr. Healy's totally fine, even though I feel like a bishop tonight, wearing all these paraphernalia. Good evening and welcome, parents, family members, faculty, honored guests, Board of Education members, and of course, the class of 2022. I'd like to begin by thanking our Board of Education for the support they have provided me during my first year as the superintendent of Passaic Valley. People often forget, but much of what we try to accomplish as an administration and staff starts with the approval of our board. I want to publicly thank them for their trust and confidence in me. I'd like to start a new tradition here tonight at Passaic Valley, which is built upon traditions. Many of you are unaware, but my brother is a United States Marine, and he has spent much of the past 17 years in Afghanistan and Iraq. I truly believe the best military is a volunteer military, which is why I've chosen to personally acknowledge 3 of our students from the class of 2022 who have pledged to serve our great country upon graduation here tonight. Please stand when your name is called. Nathaniel Alvarez, United States Air Force. Stella Falcones, United States Air Force. Vincent Capuano, United States Marine Corps. On behalf of our administration and the Board of Education, we thank you for your future service. What a year to be a Hornet. This senior class seated here before me has undoubtedly helped restore the sense of pride that comes with wearing the green and white. It's only fitting that they are the first ones to graduate on this new turf field. I'd like to give you some background information about this class. They earned a total of 1,100 college acceptances to 220 different schools, including Harvard, Cornell, Brown, Johns Hopkins, Georgetown, Fordham, RPI, Stevens Institute of Technology, George Washington, NYU, Vassar, and the list goes on and on. A large number of our students will also be competing at the D1, D2, and D3 level for athletics. From their increased involvement in community service projects and the high level of participation in our clubs and activities, it is safe to say that Hornet Pride is back. Now, I know we have a lot of alumni here tonight, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but the class of 2022 may be the best one yet. They powered through a global pandemic, school closures, online learning, mass mandates, the disappointment of canceled events, and the mental anguish that came with the restrictions placed upon them due to COVID-19. It's incredible to think more than 50% of their high school career was affected by contact tracing, quarantine periods, and ever-changing guidance from the CDC and Department of Health. It wasn't easy, but they made it. To me, the consequences of COVID-19 made this class even stronger and provided them with arguably the most important quality one could possess: resiliency. Think about our lives. Much of what we do is scripted. We wake up, we shower, we eat breakfast, we go to work or school, we come home, we eat, and then we go to bed. The next day, we do it all again. Every now and then, we throw in a vacation or a night out, but much of what we do on a daily basis follows a certain pattern or script. These past 2 years have been anything but scripted. Our seniors overcame an incredible amount of adversity and made it through more prepared, more equipped, and more well-rounded than any other class before them. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not a year of losses. This was a year of gains. Now we turn the page to life after high school. Many of you are off to college. Others are learning a trade, joining the workforce, enlisting in the armed forces, or taking time to figure things out. I also know that some of you might be overwhelmed right now. You might not know what's next, and that's okay. As I've told many of you before, there is no right way to do this. There's only your way. I'd like to offer up some parting advice before I close. Number one, do not chase money. Find something you're passionate about, something that interests you, something that gets you out of bed in the morning. You all have special talents, so sharpen those skills and do what you love. People will pay you for your service. Number two, always look people in the eye and shake their hand firmly. This small display of confidence will lead to greater opportunities. And let's make saying please and thank you the norm again, not the exception. Now, this final piece of advice, and this class does say please and thank you, so. This final piece of advice might be obvious, but sometimes it's hard to do. And that is, listen when someone is speaking to you. And yes, seniors, I was your age once, and I always thought I was right too. But I am where I am today because I listened a lot more than I spoke. Class of 2022, congratulations. You made it. I'm proud of each and every one of you, and I wish you great success, happiness, and fortune as you leave your Passaic Valley Hive and explore what life has in store for you. Today truly is a great day to be a Hornet. Thank you.
Our next speech is given by the valedictorian. This student holds the highest academic achievement in the graduating class. He is on his way to Harvard University. Please welcome the class of 2022 valedictorian, who is also the class of 2022 president, Christopher Perez.
Good evening, Passaic Valley High School administration, staff, family, and my fellow members of the class of 2022. My name is Christopher Perez, although many of you sitting here today probably know me as Chris Perez, Senor Perez, or the best barista. Sorry, Skylar. It is a true honor to be standing before you to deliver one of the first speeches on our school's new turf field. Despite countless moments of fear and insecurity, as a typical teen male, I've often been reluctant to appear anything less than in control. And so, in this, my final high school speech, I want to take a moment to reveal a more vulnerable side of me. As a theater kid over the past 10 years, I've gone on numerous auditions, received many callbacks, and I've also faced many, many rejections. There's a common phrase in the theater community, and it goes something like this. It takes around 100 auditions, sometimes even more, to earn just one role. This is something that bugs me to this day. How can life be so challenging? In my darkest times, when I felt like giving up on my true passion, I found the inspiration to keep moving forward from my grandparents. It is from their stories of their difficult upbringings and overall tenacity that I learned to derive the strength needed to persevere in theater and in life overall. And so, as I stand before you today to provide my most meaningful takeaway from high school, I ask you, don't give up. For those of us who had Mrs. Piccarelli for English, we know that she always asks students to describe each author's so what. What is the greater message the author wants to convey to their audience? My so what here is an honest recognition that all of our lives will be met with countless challenges, but it's how we deal with our adversities that will reveal our character and ultimately lead to our long-term success. We must continue to put ourselves out there, even if we feel uncomfortable, for that is the only way we can reach greater heights. And on our individual journeys of self-discovery and advancement, it is easy to forget about high school and the relationships we have built thus far. However, the better move is to continue fostering the beautiful relationships we have with our peers and our faculty. Take, for example, the founding story of the famous Ben & Jerry's ice cream company. Its founders were, as you probably guessed, Ben and Jerry, who met in 7th grade and were, and I quote, the two slowest, fattest kids in gym class. It is through this shared experience that they sowed the seeds of friendship that would later blossom into the successful company they have built today. Your friends and faculty here at PV are people who knew you before you really knew yourself. They are your supporters, your advocates, and most importantly, your cheerleaders. As sung in our school's alma mater, let's continue to be true sons and daughters loyal who are keeping the torch alight. During spring break, I was fortunate to attend a prospective students' weekend, where I learned about a concept called therapeutic redescription. According to Professor Beth Blum, therapeutic redescription is derived from the Greek Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who believed that no event is inherently good or bad. Instead, it is how we think about an event that makes it good or bad. Instead of allowing events during these past 4 years that didn't go as planned weigh us down, let's evoke these Stoic principles and view them in a positive light. Without upsetting events like the COVID-19 pandemic from occurring, for example, we would not have gained the strength and courage needed to tackle future obstacles head-on and with grace. As former Prime Minister of the UK, Winston Churchill once said, "If you're going through hell, keep going." Before I conclude my speech, I would like to thank a few people. First and foremost, I thank my parents for all their love and support. I also thank one of my best friends, my brother Alex, who you may know as Apez, for being a mentor to me and someone I've always, or at least most of the time, looked up to. I thank my grandparents for their love and desire to give their future generations something more to aspire to. I also want to thank Ms. Shu, Mr. DeLucia, Mrs. V, Maggie, and Rob for giving me a special place to grow as a person these past 10 years. Last, I would like to give a special thank you to my classmates who have molded me into the stronger person that I am today. As we prepare to enter the next chapter of our lives, we may feel overwhelmed, nervous, and a bit excited. When we feel this way, I want everyone to remember the academic and personal gifts that were given to us here at PV. I hope you will reach out to me and your other friends, people who remind you of where you came from and all the success that lies ahead. Thank you again for this opportunity. It is an honor I will treasure for the rest of my life. And of course, congratulations to the class of 2022.
We would like to take this time to recognize the class of 2022 advisors, Mrs. Cheryl Joseph and Mr. Joseph Feinstein. Please stand up. Passaic Valley and this class thanks you for your leadership, your time, and your dedication to the class of 2022. Thank you. We would like to recognize our retirees from Passaic Valley who have put in years of dedicated service to our students and this Passaic Valley community. Mr. Michael Paternoster, Ms. Karen Atamian, Mr. Ron Pescator, and Mr. Robert Kowalik. Later this evening, the class of 2022 will be given a tremendous celebration by Operation Graduation. An extraordinary amount of work, planning, and fundraising went into making this night so special. We would like to thank and recognize the Operation Graduation parents who were the leaders of this great effort. Mrs. Brigatti, Mrs. Kansay, Mrs. Massey, Mrs. Roy, and Mrs. Sweezy. Thank you very much. And now, to present the class for certification, please welcome Vice Principal, Mrs. Krista Voris.
Dr. Healy, it is my honor to present to you the class of 2022. I affirm that the students seated here before you have met or exceeded the academic requirements set forth by the New Jersey Department of Education and the Passaic Valley Board of Education.
With the authority granted to me by the State of New Jersey and the Passaic Valley Board of Education, I hereby certify the class of 2022. Congratulations.
Let the calling of the graduates begin.
Mic check. This is doing things on the fly here. We'll figure it out.
Marianne Capalbo. Patrick Calvano. Ariana Cortez. Julian Esquivel. Noah Fuchs. Christina Hilla. Lucia Krautheim. Tessa Van Dam. Andrew Mamayev. Anaf Manin. Andre Manzi. Kayla Manzi. Alessia Murata. Anais Martinez. Sofia Martinez. Kelly Martinez Mina. Ava Massey. Isabella Mastriani. Yvette Mauricio. Jenna Anevsky. Nathaniel Alvarez. Mohammed Aljaira. Saida Ali. Jenna Alessandrelli. Hatis Okoka. Sahar Ahmad. Noor Aga. Alexandra Acevedo. Patul Abdelkader. Minara Abdelmagid. Bilal Abdel-Jabbar. Vincent Abundanza. Gabriela Gutierrez. Maram Adham. Emma Sieber. Julia Hosri. Leah Truhella. Christopher Perez. Jody McCormick. Dylan McNerney. Camila Mejia Perez. Dominic Miola. Juels Mercado. Anthony Mubayed. Tyler Mulrooney. Jordan Newberry. Jaylene Nogueira. Mina Odobasi. Luis Oliveras. Abigail Ostolaza. Carissa Ostolaza. Aiden Pabon. Natalie Pagan. Elizabeth Pampanen. Sophia Payne. Melanie Pena. George Perez. Lauren Bongo. Sarah Boylan. Matthew Buscano. Emily Brigatti. Brandon Bolanos. Sophia Bermudez. Daniel Bennett. Adam Batal. Richard Batraki. Stephanie Barantes. Chaser Baido. Ariana Bajrami. Cassidy Bear. Laith Awad. Liana Atori. Morgan Owie. Juliana Atala. Natalie Ardis. Justin Appello. Gianna Anthony. Sebastian Fernandez. Antonio Petito. Jessica Phillip. Jason Pickett. Sophia Pizzi. Melissa Polio. Dante Potenzone. Kayla Price. Gianna Puglisi. Nicholas Puglisi. Nicole Laricchia. Pamela Ragai. Jacob Rahiman. Abu Bakr Ramadan. Tiana Raymond. Nehemiah Redden. Joseph Rente. Salvatore Revisor. Eduardo Rivera. Aaron Riley. Luis Reynoso. Oriela Coronado Luz. Ivan Hernandez. Bianca Copello. Victoria Collins. Aaron Collado. Gabriela Cielo. Madison Chiovola. Daniela Chantes. Fiona Cathcart. PJ Casal. Emily Castro Socoto. Jaden Castaneda. Julissa Caruth. Aiden Carter. Audrey Corella. Vincent Capuano. Angelina Callie. Katie Calandrello. Derek Caceres. Paxton Rorick. Diego Rojas. Jose Rojas Peña. Christian Rosa. Isabella Rosero. Ariana Rubio. Nelly Ruiz. Johnny Sadu. Salma Saleh. Joseph Salvador. Maricelis Santiago. Brandon Santor. Anthony Shelzo. My treasure, Scott. Isabella Semerero. David Orfali. Anaya Simpson. China Sinclair. Skylar Smith. Yesha Feliz Luna. Stella Falcones. Brianna Epler. Emily Jeparovska. Kendrick Duque. Jocelyn Dupas. Nathan Droney. Malachi Dixon. Anthony DiToronto. Valentina Diaz. Tristan DiPrizio. Dialis De Jesus. Joseph DeFeo. Jasmine De La Cruz. Isis De Hoyos. Yelin De Dios. Adam Dari. Natalie Simon. Sophia Covello. Jasir Soriano. Jesse Spadacini. Antonio Stavreski. Isabella Style. Irene Strauder. Cassandra Sweezy. Sarah Takahashi. Isabella Tambone. Arlene Tavares. Ashley Tavares. Troy Tkach. David Torres. Galilea Torres. Jeremy Trinidad. Cassandra Tucker. Dogan Uludogan. Madison Van Riper. Savannah Van Winkle. Jocelyn Grillo. Matthew Grieco. John D. Mateo. Lenora Gonzalez. Edionel Gonzalez. Milena Gomez. Jalen Gomez. Justin Getzoff. Brandon Gargiulo. George Galeatsis. Thomas Gaeta. Melissa Gaeta. Angelo Fuentes. Luis Fructuoso Salmarón. Give you your moment. Cassidy Frazier. Isaiah Ford. Ariana Flores Ortiz. Samira Flores. Victor Flores. Diego Flores. Sabrina Vapor. Magdalena Valkowska. Ethan Veller. Nadia Verazzo. Angelique Villa. Melissa Villegas. Aaliyah Vinces. Dalen Visoso. Anna Weil. Nicholas Weaver. Austin West. Brian Whitney. Kaya Williams. Calvin Woodall. Lily Zamora. Juliana Zapata. Isabella Zigarelli. Brianna La Rosa. Caitlin Lim. Goran Jovanovic. Derek Jimenez. Bowen Jang. Julian Janish. Haneen Isa. Nabil Ibrahim. Tiana Hubbard. Lionel Holgan. Mariah Himsel. Giuliani Herrera. Aixa Herrera. Adham Hamuda. Sabi Hamuda. Amir Hall. Farhan Halim. Yasmin Hajbi. Hatem Hadoush. Jenna Hablitz. Jennifer Winyansaka. Angel Guevara Benet. Vincent Lin. Kelsey Liskowitz. Lucia Lugo. Katie Macarlupo. Victor Magallanes. Logan Magazin. Anthony Malamés. Jonathan Malamés. Dominic Lang. Raymond Corja. Thomas Kobalars. Zara Kiam. Faria Khan. Karen Katat. Janice Kapilevich. Jalen Kansay. Imtian Kadir.
sits, I might just get up. When he goes and sits, I might just get up and say the final words. That's it. You got no more speaking, right? Sit. Class of 2022, please stand. At this time, I ask that you move your tassel from right to left, signifying that you are now officially proud alumni of Passaic Valley High School. Hornets, you are free to leave the hive.